Hello, one game of Magic to rule them all. We're at one game all between Andrew Quinn and Alessandro in the final of PTQ Dragons Maze here in Liverpool, sunny Liverpool, and Robots getting to go first against Jund.
Big advantage for Robots going first.
I mean, Jund's got a fair chunk of hate, but he'll really be wanting the turn 1 Deathrite more than anything in the world right now.
Pretty much. Well, he's got something.
Well, if he doesn't have the Deathrite, then he'll probably be maybe pointing a discard spell at Alessandro's face.
Well, he's gone basic Swamp, but that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have Deathrite because of the hybrid casting cost.
We want to get that cranial plating out of his hand.
Yep.
And really going second, you know, if you don't have either of those two cards, you might be looking at a mulligan.
There you go.
You certainly don't want the hands with the Tarmogoyfs and Bobs in.
No.
You're just looking for all your removal.
Yep. In with the Vault Scourge. And Steel Overseer from Alessandro.
It's a pretty slow start actually from Robots, and it's probably going to let Jund in the game here.
Yeah. It's a relentless start though. If he doesn't kill that Steel Overseer, it'll take over the game very quickly.
I'd be very surprised if it sticks.
Golgari Charm, sweep him up. -1/-1.
Again, another excellent sideboard card there for Andrew.
Yep.
And really just turning this deciding game right on its head now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an active Deathrite Shaman again now, so...
And pretty much Andrew can go card for card at this point. What this means is that for every single thing that Alessandro does on the turn, Andrew will have enough mana to counter it.
Yeah, and the main advantage that the Robots deck has is that you shouldn't be able to go 1-for-1 with it.
Yeah, you just meant to overwhelm in those first couple of turns, and so maybe, I don't know, do you think maybe it was a ropey keep from Alessandro, do you think?
I mean, it doesn't look to be the strongest keep. I mean, he's going 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and that's not really where Robots wants to be.
I mean, if you're keeping a hand like that, are you doing it because maybe it has like 2 thought casts in or something?
It's very possible he has multiple thought casts. The other thing he might be thinking is, if my Steel Overseer lives, then I'm going to win this game. But I think that asking for a 1/1 for 2 to live against a Jund deck who's kept pretty much anything is asking for it.
I mean, Jund's going to have, what, 15 cards to be able to deal with that?
Something like that, yeah. You think 4 Lightning Bolts, going to have 1, maybe 2
various
Ancient Grudge, various charms, Shatterstorm,
slow maybe.
Terminate, Abrupt Decay. So, you know, it's there's a veritable smorgasbord of removal waiting
Robots'
for
road
you.
to victory is going to have to involve several monsters rather than just keeping a hand with one good monster in.
Yeah, I mean, this is the blue version of Robots, one of the more popular versions that we've seen on the Pro Tour is one that's mono red for Galvanic Blast and Shrapnel Blast, just for this reason that beating people up with monsters game 2 and 3 is just incredibly difficult.
Yeah, you very often get to do 10 points of damage and then the other player sort of shores up.
Yeah. As you see, getting a Master of Ethereum lightning bolted is always a bit embarrassing for a
I mean, I think
player.
everyone can see who's happier of the 2 players at this point.
Yeah. Attacking for 1 with my Inkmoth Nexus, that's never
It's not really a threat until it's got at least 5 poison down. You can almost just ignore that.
Yep, takes a couple off the Dark Confident.
Indeed, sometimes it's a double-edged sword, cards like that, because you don't want to be attacking them with poison when they've got like Bobs in play.
Yeah, you want to be putting pressure on their life total more than anything else. And
it was always a fun thing about the poison decks was that a lot of people, when they had cards like Spellskite out, to be like taking 12 off a Spellskite because they know the other guy can't do any regular damage.
Yeah, the only way the other guy can do regular damage is if you have a Malera on the table, which is Amusing. And Andrew attacked with his Dark Confidant there, and Alessandro accepted the trade. Which pretty much says Alessandro's there. Alessandro's saying, I can't deal with a Dark Confidant living. I don't have enough pressure. When a robots player loses his Glimmer Void, you know that it's not really the best decision for him.
The Tarmogoyf starts getting fat. He's going to be winning this race quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Vault Scourge is an artifact and a creature, so that's going to add to the damage that Tarmogoyf is doing. And yeah, I mean, Alessandro's using the ability on Blinkmoth Nexus in order to power up his Inkmoth Nexus, so if Affinity's sinking all its mana into that, it's got a really bad draw.
It's funny how 1,000+ games of Magic can come down to just someone keeping a ropey draw in the final.
Yep, and Andrew Ancient grudges the Inkmoth Nexus, so Alessandro now has precisely no pressure on the board.
Now, looking at a game like this in the final, that maybe you think's going in a certain direction quite quickly after the game starts, it does make you wonder what on earth Alessandro's been playing all day.
I mean, against a player like maybe if he's on the play and he's playing against... I mean, I wouldn't even say that's a good draw against a blue-white deck, because a blue-white deck can just spell snare you Steel Overseer and you're just in a terrible situation. So,
you know, he's definitely had his fair chunk of luck throughout this tournament.
I mean, maybe. I mean, Neil mulliganing to 4 was obviously a rope for him, but he played fairly well in that match. His deck list is very solid. I just think that we've got a little bit of a...
We're just saying Robots is a deck with just too much hate out there at the moment.
I know multiple players who've been turned off from playing Robots just simply for that fact that they just feel like the first game isn't playing Magic, you just run over most players, and the second playing games 2 and 3 is just an absolute nightmare for the most part because you're just wading through hate, and it's just...
I mean, there's a few matchups you want to see, but
yeah,
there's not that many. I mean, you think you've got a chance against Tron.
But the thing is, if people play Affinity, one person inevitably makes top 8 with it. So, Artbound Ravager, a little bit too little too late, I think, here maybe for Alessandro. As you know, you're in a good position with Jund when you're activating
and
Raging
Ravines. And
Ravines.
you've still got a grip of cards, and that's really the worst thing for Alessandro.
Yeah.
You know, he's got all these cards on the board he has to deal with, and you know, at least 2 more in his hand.
And Andrew just ancient grudges the Artbound Ravager.
Wakes up his land in response.
Yeah, just makes the Inkmoth Nexus a 2/2. Yeah, I think Andrew's well aware of where this game's going now. Yep, activates Raging Ravine again and comes in.
It's almost like he just sneaks out of nowhere, the Raging Ravine. You know, it gets played like turn 2, turn 3, something like that, and then just forgotten about.
Yeah.
Everything else gets dropped out, and then all of a sudden it goes, I beat you up with this guy, he's really big.
Yep, I mean, Celestial Colonnade's obviously blue-white's version. And that's game.
So congratulations to Andrew Quinn at winning the PTQ up in Liverpool here, and we'll have a chat to him, see how things went.